Music Access. Have you ever given yourself a gift before? Standing in front of something that you want, debating whether or not you should buy it or not, you say to yourself, hey, I worked hard this week, I'm gonna give myself a present. Then you buy it without thinking twice. Ugh. But doing this too often can be a little problematic, right? So what about this? What are you doing this instead? If you worked or studied hard this week, what about making plans for a fun-filled or relaxing weekend? Of course, you should make sure the cost that goes into your fun-filled or relaxing weekend is small, but the satisfaction you gain from it is big. If you succeed, let me in on what you did, alright? We're back, and we just heard Marvin Gaye by Charlie Puth featuring Meghan Trainor. What's up? Today is Saturday, June 13th, 2015, and we've got our Saturday Corners coming up soon about texts and messages, which is all about sharing the SNS or text message that was the most memorable to you from the week gone by. It could have been a message that made you really happy or angry, or something that made you laugh out loud, or a message that made you really frustrated. Let us know which message was the most memorable, and also share with us some of the messages that you keep saved in your mobile device and why. To share, just write my text on your message and let me know. And our Sunday corner, Scribble Scribble, is of course just that. This corner is for you to think freely and just doodle out your thoughts. It's a chance to be honest with yourself and think about what was hard, what was embarrassing, what was a proud moment, and, anything in general from the past week. Share anything and everything with me by writing Scribble on your title. Now, here's how you can listen and participate. You can download the Arirang Radio or TuneIn Radio application on your smartphone, and you can also send us messages through the app using the comment function. You can also listen to us by visiting our website, www.arirangradio.com/musicaccess, and leave your messages there on our message board. Another way you can tune in is through terrestrial DMB, but this is only available for our listeners living on Jeju Island. The frequencies are 88.7 for Jeju City, 88.1 for Seogwipo, and 101.9 for Daejeon. And y'all have been sending in some great song requests, so keep them coming by posting up a message on our message board under the title Request. Now let's check out 2 tracks before we come back with My Text and Message. The songs are I Really Like You by Carly Rae Jepsen, followed by Lost Stars by Adam Levine. Reading your messages again and again, and reading through the messages I sent again and again. The messages I wait for, the messages that make me laugh, the messages that are precious to me. My text and message. Which messages were the ones that were the most memorable to you from the week gone by? The messages that you keep are the words from the person you probably want to keep close. If you remember the messages that you sent, you probably spent a lot of time thinking about it before sending it. Our Saturday Corner My Text and Message is all about sharing the SNS or text message that was the most memorable to you from the week gone by. It could have been a message that made you really happy or angry, or something that made you laugh out loud, or a message that made you really frustrated. Let us know which message was the most memorable, and also share with us some of the messages that you keep saved in your mobile device and why. Just write my text and message on your message when you send it in. And our first text and message comes from Mara from the USA, saying, I had a very interesting text from my mother. As you know, I live in Seattle and my family lives in Houston. It's where I'm originally from. But I haven't lived there in more than 10 years, nor have I had the time to visit my family for about 4 years. So my mother was preparing me about all the visits I have to make to my 30 cousins or so, and also my aunts and uncles, the usual. Then all of a sudden she dropped a bomb on me. She said she cut her hair. Now, this may seem pretty normal, right? But no, my mother has never cut her hair in all the years I've been alive. It's 33 years, by the way. She's always had a long, thick braid that went almost to her knees, and that's always been what my mother looks like. I always associated my mother with three things: homemade Mexican food, warm hugs, and her long braid. And now one of these constants is gone. She didn't even trim it. No, she hacked it off all to her shoulders. I will admit she looks younger and very nice, but it was hard to deal with this message she sent me. I guess a lot of things change. P.S. If you're gonna ask what my dad thinks, well, he passed away a few years ago, but I can tell you right now, he probably wouldn't like it because he loved my mom's long hair, but I suppose it is my mom's hair after all. First of all, that is super, super, super interesting that your mom hasn't cut her hair in all the years that you've been around. I guess I can understand the kind of shock that would be associated with something like that, you know? Having a constant that you associate with your mom, and then all of a sudden being notified when you go home after a long time that your mother has decided to change her hairstyle. You know, that could be a bit of a shock. But I'm sure that your mother has good plans for her hair. You know, she maybe could have donated it, or maybe, you know, she just wanted to get a haircut. You know, it is going to be a hot summer, and, you know, maybe go for that change. So, when you go see your mother, go ahead, greet her with a smile and say, "Mom, you look great. You look fabulous." And I'm sure she'll be very, very happy. Alright, now let's check out two songs before we move on. The first song requested by Australia's Samantha is Smile by Dami Im, followed by All of Me by John Legend, requested by Camille Joy of the Philippines. We're back, and we just heard Smile by Dami Im, followed by All of Me by John Legend. I'm Benji of BIG, the host for Music Access, and we are on our Saturday Corner My Text and Message, which is all about reading the text message and social media comments that were most memorable to you. But you're also maybe curious about the messages I send and receive, right? So here's a message, or some messages that stood out to me that came into me this week. So for our BIG Instagram, we created one. And we got a lot of comments and, you know, likes on each picture. So recently I uploaded a picture from a filming of the new orchestra program that I'm doing for season 2. And it's a picture I took with Jung Hee-chul of 제국의 Idol. And it's just that, you know, we took a pose, we took a picture. I'm wearing a tank top that's way too tight, and I look way too skinny in this picture. But one of the things that stood out to me was I uploaded this picture, and of course, you know, we had BIG Beginnings commenting on it. But then besides that, because, you know, Hee-chul Hyung is also in the 제국의 Idol, that group, which is also very, very popular, I got comments from his fans as well saying, you know, Benji, you look so cute next to Hyung. Oh, it's good to see you guys taking pictures together. You know, I love you for taking this picture with Hee-chul oppa. And then one of the things that I thought about was that really when it comes to Korean fandoms, there's not really a war or anything. It was just nice to have so much positive feedback, you know, instead of who's this guy next to, you know, our oppa or something like that. Instead of that, it was just very, you know, positive and heartwarming. So, you know, I felt really good about that. So hopefully I'll be able to take more pictures with more people, and I'll be able to upload them so you guys can see what I'm up to. Alright, now let's check out two more songs before we move on. The first song is Thinking Out Loud by Ed Sheeran, requested by the USA's Darcy, followed by The Captain by KC Chambers, requested by Andrea Kett of Australia. We're back, and we just heard Thinking Out Loud by Ed Sheeran, followed by The Captain by KC Chambers. And now let's go to our next text and message, and it comes from Yunita Suino from Indonesia, saying, "A message that was so memorable to me is an old email that came from my first love. He sent this email to me on January 7th, 2009, more than 6 years ago, and this email from him is still there on my account, and I don't think I'll erase it. I want to keep it as a beautiful memory for me." He said, "Keep up your spirit. Life is hard when we have nothing. The only thing that can make us able to keep fighting is when we have hope and spirit. God bless you." I always remember his words whenever I feel so down and want to give up, and it lifts my spirit. I still remember how he always supported me and gave me advice when I needed it without asking him. Although he always treated me like his younger sister and even called me so, I never regret knowing and loving him for a very long time, 7 years. Maybe you remember I shared about him on Music Access before. I want to thank him. Because of him, I learned a lot. He made my days colorful, whether it was laughing or crying, whether it was happiness or sadness. I just want to keep it all. Thank you so much, my big brother. The first time you fall in love, it changes you forever, and no matter how hard you try, that feeling just never goes away. A quote by Nicholas Sparks that she added at the end. I think that's a really, really good outlook on life, that the only thing that keeps you going is that kind of hope and spirit, you know. There was the whole, I don't know if you guys know the story about Pandora's box, but, you know, chaos and, you know, all that bad stuff came out, and at the very end, hope came out, and that was the one thing that led, or that was like the one good thing that came out of Pandora's box. And whenever you're in a situation where everything seems like it's failing, or everything seems like there's no positive point going, really that kind of hope for a better future, I think, is something that really drives a lot of people. And personally, it gives me a lot of passion and drive as well, you know, hope for a better future. You know, hope that I can, support my parents later in life and all that stuff. So, hope, guys. Focus on that. Now let's check out 2 more songs before we move on. The first song is 8282 by Davichi, requested by Thailand's Kinine. And the Philippines, my son wants to hear Wan Du Kong by SS501. Boom, boom. Now we're back, and we just heard 8282 by Davichi, followed by Wan Du Kong by SS501. And now we're back to our text and message corner, and our next one comes from Sena Lachisa from Ethiopia, saying, "Hi, I'm Sena, and there was one SNS that made me laugh the entire day. I had a fight with my boyfriend, and I changed my profile to single just to make him angry. And he wrote me a text saying, when you fight with me, you changed your profile to single. And should I change my profile to orphan when I fight with my parents? I find it funny." You know, just as a guy, when a girl does it, I find it not funny. You know, don't do that to your boyfriend. Although he did handle the situation extremely wittily. So, props to him, and that gave me a laugh as well. That was actually pretty funny. You know, I like your boyfriend. He's a pretty tight guy. Alright, and remember guys, if you want to participate in our Saturday Corner My Text and Message, all you need to do is send us the messages that are saved in your phone. Tell us about who sent you the message or who you sent it to, and a little bit about the situation as well. Now let's check out 2 songs before we continue on. Thailand's Mar wants to hear Love Blossom by K-Will, followed by Konnip Nori by Lin, and Leo of Vix, requested by Mika of Japan. Alright, so it's the end of our first hour. Right after a short break, we'll continue on with our second hour of our show, where we introduce your messages. So make sure to stay tuned. I'll let you hear Outside by Calvin Harris featuring Ellie Goulding, and be right back. What's up? You're listening to Music Access with me, Benji of B.I.G. And our first song, starting off the second hour of the show for Saturday, June 13th, was Talk About You by Mika. Alright guys, so here's how you can listen and participate. You can download the Arirang Radio or TuneIn Radio application on your smartphone. And you can also send us messages through the app using the comment function. You can also listen to us by visiting our website, www.arirangradio.com/musicaccess, and leave your messages there on our message board. Another way you can tune in is through terrestrial DMB, but this is only available for our listeners living on Jeju Island. The frequencies are 88.7 for Jeju City, 88.1 for Seogwipo, and 101.9 for Daejeong. Alright, now let's check out 2 songs before we come back with more messages. The first song is Ghost by Ella Henderson, followed by Take Me to Church by Hosier. We're back, and we just heard Ghost by Ella Henderson, followed by Take Me to Church by Hosier. I'm Benji of B.I.G., the host for Music Access, and you're listening to our Saturday show. In the first hour, we took a look at your precious messages or SNS messages that you received, but for the second hour, we're going to read messages that you posted up on our message board. And our first message comes from Berawan Tiskaya of Turkey saying, "Hi DJ Benji, have a great Saturday." Thank you. It is awesome so far. And we have Yunita Suino from Indonesia. We read her message from the first hour, but she responded about my story about my Juilliard message from the last time, saying, "Hi Benji, you know, when I heard your story about Juilliard, my eyes got teary. It was a touching and inspiring story. You had tried your best and you got the reward for your effort. And now, I admire you for your braveness, taking a big risk for a chance that brings big changes in your life. You may never know what tomorrow will bring, but I always hope the best for you. Through this way, we get to know you. I'm so happy to know you, Benji. I can see you still love playing the violin, so just play it whenever you want, Benji. Fighting, 사랑해." Thank you. You know, that Juilliard story, you know, it's a true story. It's a fun story, and it's a story that I tell a lot. Just because I think when it comes to my life, it's one of the points in my life that I'll never forget, and something that is very important in my life. So thank you for responding for that. It touches me that it touched you. Alright, now let's check out 2 songs before we continue on. The first song is Brand New by Shinhwa, followed by Remember by Ihori, requested by Bedewan of Turkey. We're back, and we just heard Brand New by Shinhwa, followed by Remember by Ihori. You're listening to Music Access, and let's go to our next message. Comes from Renzi from the Philippines saying, "Hi DJ Benji, happy weekend. How are you? What did you eat for lunch? Have a nice day. I love you." You know what I ate for lunch? Do you know what I ate for lunch? It's a secret. Because I am on a special muscly diet now, and I'm gonna get super, super huge like the Hulk. I'm just kidding. But, you know, I eat healthy. It involved rice. It's not that interesting of a meal. And we have Joanna from the USA saying, "Hello, DJ Benji and Music Access family. Have a fantastic Saturday, Benji and everyone. Also, take lots of care, be careful, and be safe. Much love from Joanna." Very true, guys. You know, with the, viruses and stuff going around, you guys have to be very, very careful. For our Korean listeners, you know, put on a mask, and when you go outside, you know, eat healthily, keep that immune system fighting. And otherwise, of course, for everyone else, keep things cool, keep things awesome by focusing on those fruits and veggies. Get those vitamins. Yes. Alright, now let's check out 2 more songs before we continue on. The first song is Trilini by Halo, requested by Inda of Indonesia, followed by Gotta Figure It Out by Chad Future featuring Aaron, requested by Vietnam's Thao Van. Yes, we just heard Trilini by Halo, followed by Gotta Figure It Out by Chad Future featuring Aaron. And now let's go to our next message coming from Lujane of Germany. Ooh, saying, "Hey DJ Benji, it is my first time listening to you here on Arirang. I usually listen to Adrian and Alex, but now your show caught my attention. Since I always wake up at 6 to 7 a.m. to study until I go to uni, which starts at 12:30 p.m., I'll be able to follow your show every morning. Best regards, Lu Jane." Woo! New listener applause. My panda applause for you. And thank you for tuning in. And I'm not quite sure how my show caught your attention, but I'm sure it was because the energy that I give out during our program overflowed maybe into Alex's program. But then again, Alex is also a pretty fly guy. And remember, guys, High 4 is promoting their new song, so go check out that song too, because it's super, super awesome. Alex wrote his own rap. Alright, now, let's check out 2 more songs before we move on. The first song is "Yangwa Negyo" by Zion T, requested by Maribeth of the USA, followed by "너의 얘길 들어줄게" by Yunmire, requested by Singapore's Leon Teo. We're back, and we just heard "양화대교" by Zion T, followed by "너의 얘길 들어줄게" by Yunmire. And now let's go to our next message coming from Natasha from Australia saying, "Hey Benji, I can finally listen to Music Access again. The week has felt so long and slow because I wasn't able to listen to Music Access in the afternoon, and I'm so exhausted. So I'm really happy that I can finally listen today. Next week, I'll be able to listen as normal again. Yesterday and today on my way to work, I passed by a guy who was busking. He was playing a violin. It was cool, but it made me miss you and your violin playing. Have you been well, Benji? Are you excited about going to Japan soon? From an Australian beginning. I am super, super excited to go to Japan because, of course, we've got that amazing Japanese food. You know, our first trip as B.I.G. promoting outside of the country, besides from that China and filming our music videos. So, of course, I'm super excited for that. And just because you mentioned busking, it's given me something to kind of think about because I remember my first time ever busking. That was, 2009. So I was going from high school second year to high school third year. And one of the things that I remember about it was I was super, super nervous. You know, guys, people that busk on the street, it's actually very, 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 tension-raising. Like, it's crazy how nervous you can get. I get more nervous busking on the street than I do performing in a huge concert hall, you know. And then when it came to my first experience for busking, you know, I took out my violin and I started playing. And first, you know, you don't get any responses whatsoever. You know, you're just playing your violin and people are listening. And then the more you play, the more people start listening. And one of the things I realized about busking is you just have to be consistent about it. You know, play for a long time, you know, be prepared for no one listening, then be prepared for a lot of people listening. And of course, always prepare those pieces or those parts that are very, very wow and crowd pleasers, because those are the things that get people's attention. And once you got them hooked, slowly reel them in. So that was a little Benji style advice for those of you who are interested in busking and a little bit of my take on the experience. And now, let's check out two songs before we move on. The first song is Take Back the Night by Justin Timberlake, followed by American Oxygen by Rihanna. That's right, we are the new America. Yeah. Alright, so we just heard Take Back the Night by Justin Timberlake, followed by American Oxygen by Rihanna. And now, it is close to the end. Not actually close to the end. It is actually the end of our Saturday show. Remember, we had my text and message where you sent us the messages or SNS messages that were most memorable to you. So, if you want to write in, go ahead and write message on your device. And now, our last song for today is Let There Be Love by Oasis. This was Benji of B.I.G. and I'll be back.